So in this video, I'm going to explain how to graph trigonometric function. I'm gonna do the non-credit review part 2, and I'm going to go over question 28, 29, 31, and 33. So starting with question 28 of the non-credit review, they ask you to graph y equals to 5 tangent of 1/2 of x. You know that 1/2 is basically 0.5. So in your calculator, you can, just to make it easy to type in, you can write it this one as 0.5x to avoid extra parentheses and things like that. So this is what it will look like in your calculator. So you take your calculator, you turn on your calculator, you type in here y equals to, and you go to you copy whatever is in here. So 5 tangent of 0.5, and then x, and then close the parentheses. Now you have to so before you even enter everything, you have to make sure that the mode, so you click here mode, you have to make sure that it's in radian. So you can, as you can see here, it's in radian. If it was in degree, let me do with degree, you will see that it won't give you, we won't have a result. So let me enter with degree. So let's do that. Normally your calculator has to be in radian. So I have this one, and I have to enter the window. The window, I can see here, it goes from what? From negative 2 pi to 2 pi, right? So this, on your x-axis, you have the minimum value on your x-axis, which is x min in here. It has to be negative 2 pi, second pi, I enter, and then to 2 pi, so 2 second pi, I enter. And the y mean has to be, it goes from negative 10, I have negative 10 on the y-axis, to 10. So it goes from, x scale means how, like you move by a scale of 1, but we only caring about x min, x max, y min, x y max. So we go from negative 10, enter, to 10, right? So 10, enter, and then I graph. Remember, I changed the mode to degree, and you will see that it won't work. So graph, we will have something weird. See, it doesn't look like any one of those answer choices. But if I change my mode, I bring it back to radian, enter, and then I go back to graph. You see that this is what we have. We obtain this one. So it draws the graph for us, and we don't have to, all we have to do is to look at which one of the answer choices match our graph. As you can see, this graph that we have here match perfectly answer choice D. So that will be your answer choice. So that's how you do to solve this kind of questions. You enter everything in the calculator, and you have your answer. You make sure that you match the windows that you have in the problem that they give you. So let me do the next one. The next one is with cotangent. So you have y equals to, so y equals to negative 2 minus 3 cotangent of 4x plus 3 pi over 2. So first of all, what you have to do is to distribute the 4 in here. So 4 comes here and here, right? So let me rewrite this one as negative 2. My goal, the reason why I rewrite everything, I want to make it easy to put that in my calculator. If I put directly this one, there will be so many parentheses that I will get confused. So that's why I like to write it nicer. But if you feel like you can directly write negative 2, negative 3 cotangent, go ahead. But if you like me and you want to do one thing at a time, one step at a time, you can distribute this one. So negative 3 cotangent, I distribute the 4, I get 4x, and then 4 times 3 is 12, 12 divided by 2 is 6, so plus 6 pi. So that's what I get. But I know that cotangent is what? This calculator, as you can see here, it doesn't have any cotangent button. So, but you know that there is a relationship between tangent and cotangent. Cotangent is 1 over tangent, so I can rewrite this one as negative 2, negative 3, parenthesis, 1 divided by tangent of, and then I copy whatever is inside in here. Close this parenthesis, and then I close this big parenthesis, and that's the exact thing that I have to write in the calculator. Now concerning the windows, as you can see here, we have what? Negative 7 pi over 4. Here we have negative 5 pi over 4, and as x min x max in here, and y min is negative 6, y max is plus 6, right? Same thing is being repeated here, so negative 7 pi over 4, negative 5 pi over 4, negative 6 and 6, right? And finally here I have something different. So that's the trick. So they always put one that is wrong, one interval that is wrong, while the others are right. So the way you know is that if you notice that among the intervals, two are the same, but there is one that is different from the other two, the one that is different is the one that is wrong. So you don't even worry about that. So your x min is this one, x min is this one, and x max is that value in here, y min is this value in here, y max is this value in here, right? So what I do, I have to write everything back in the calculator. So that's the value that I have to write in the calculator just exactly as it's presented itself. So negative 2, let me put it in here, yes, yeah, it's visible. Negative 2 minus 3, 1 divided by tangent parentheses, 1 divided by tangent of 4x plus 6 pi, first parenthesis, second parenthesis. Now the window, my x minimum is negative 7 pi divided by 4, enter, and x max is negative 5 pi divided by 4, I enter. Y min is negative 6, so I write negative 6, y max is 6, and then all I have to press graph, and that's it. And I look at which one of those graphs will look like. I know that this one is already eliminated, so I have to make a choice between these two. So pay attention, pay very close attention to the graph, and and as you can see, when you look at those two graphs, it's clear that my graph in here looks like A. You have to pay very close attention. Look at carefully, you'll see that it's answer A, not B. Look at the way this shape is bent, and look at how this one is bent. You notice that it's bent towards the right side, whereas this one is bending out to the left side. So this one is wrong, so it has to be this one. So that's your answer choice. So now let's do the next one. The next one is cosecant. The long way would be to actually try to draw it manually and enter all the value, but the faster way will be to do it this way using the calculator. So you have y equals to negative 1 over 5 cosecant of x plus pi over 2. So 1 over 5, you can write it in terms of decimal. The reason why I'm changing the way it's written, because easier when I write it in terms of, so negative 0.2. So let me write it as negative 0.2. Cosecant is what? 1 divided by sine, right? So 1 parenthesis 1 divided by sine, and then x plus pi over 2. Close the parenthesis. So I replace this value, this one in here, by that, and I put a parenthesis to just to be more careful, to avoid making any mistakes. So make sure you put parentheses when you're doing the work, and also try to redo it just so you know how to do it. You better learn by repeating. And also the x min is negative 2 pi, 2 pi, negative 2 here, and 2 here. So x min negative 2 pi, x max 2 pi, y min negative 2, y max is 2, and I copy this one in here and I'll graph it. So y equals to, I clear everything that I've done so far, negative 0.2 parenthesis 1 divided by sine of x plus pi. Pi divided by 2 is basically, I can write it as 0.5 pi, 0.5 pi. Like I said, the reason why I am writing it in terms of decimals as opposed to fraction is because it's easier. If I write it in terms of fraction, I will have to add extra parentheses to avoid making any mistakes. So I prefer to write it with in terms of decimal to avoid putting extra parentheses. So now the windows, I'm going from negative 2 pi, negative 2 pi to 2 pi, and then go to from negative 2 here to 2, and then I graph, and I try to figure out which one of the graph that I have is my answer. So you can notice that this shape in here, it touches the y-axis, but look at this one, it doesn't touch the y-axis evenly, and this one touches. This is the answer. Notice, so all you have to do is to look at which one of those graphs match what the calculator has drawn, and this is the answer. Now the next one is yes, the last one actually. So we have this one, y is equal to negative 1/4 secant of x minus 3/4 3 pi divided by 4. So the same thing, y equals to negative 1 minus 1/4. If you're unsure about what 1/4 is, 1 divided by 4 is 0.25. So 0.25. Now secant is what? 1 divided by cosine. So I open a parenthesis, 1 divided by cosine of x minus 3 pi divided by 4. What is 3 divided by 4? 0.75, right? So I rewrite 3/4 as 0.75, and I copy the pi that is in it, like that. Close this first parenthesis of cosine, and then close the entire parenthesis, and that's what I need to enter in my calculator. And I look at the x min and x max. X min is negative pi divided by 4, x max is 7 pi divided by 4, y min is negative 10, y max is plus 10. So I write that in my calculator. So y equals to, clear everything, negative 1 minus 0.25 parenthesis 1 divided by cosine of x minus 0.75 pi, close this one, close the second one, window, negative pi divided by 4, enter, and then the other one 7 pi divided by 4, enter, and graph. That's it. And when I do so, I obtain, oh, I have to change my window, the y min and the y max. I forget to do the y min and the y max. Negative 10, it goes from negative 10 to 10, enter, and then I graph, and that looks exactly like, yes, that looks exactly like A, and you select this one. So that's basically, that summarize how you graph how you graph those functions. I think, let me go really quick over this question 1. I will go over that really quick. It's a calculator question as well. So you have this one, how you enter these numbers in the calculator. So quickly, you have, let's say 55. So you want to enter this expression in your calculator. So you do let me write it here. Okay, so 55 second angle, I select this one, so 55 degrees 26 minutes. So second angle, I go to minutes, 26 minutes minus 32 degrees, so second angle degrees 43, second angle minutes is here, and I get enter, and this is the answer that I get. Now I need to convert this one into degree, minute, second. So I go to second angle again, and I go to the fourth button, degree, minute, second, and then enter, bam, and I get my answer, 22 43, and I copy that, and this is my answer. So if you have that, you can put that directly in your calculator. So now the next one is this one, 40 degrees, 27 minutes and 11 seconds. So what you do, let me make sure that it's visible. Okay, so 14 degrees, so 14 second degree, so second angle degree, you enter 27 minute 27 second. So second angle again, I go to minute here, I enter and now 11 seconds. So for second, you have to enter alpha here, and then plus button. Okay, so that's what you get, and you enter that, and it gives you 14.453. So now how do you round? So you go to math. So they say they want the answer to 3 decimal places, so I want to round. So let me go back. So I have math round, go to round, I enter my second answer. So I want to take my answer that I obtained, the 14.45. I want to make it to 3 decimals, so this one is comma. So comma 3 decimals 3. If they were asking for 2 decimal, I would have written 2. So enter and then enter, and that gives you my 14.453. That is my answer. So if you want to round one more time, math round my answer, second answer, and if it's 1 decimal to the nearest to the nearest 100, 2 decimal, to the nearest 1000, 3 decimal, to the nearest so whatever you need after the number of decimal that you want after the number decimal, you can always write it in here. So if they're asking you to the nearest integer, it's going to be 0. So let's say I want to convert this one to the nearest integer, so I enter 0, I close, enter, I have 14. So that summarizes everything for today. Good luck on your test, and yeah.